Hey boys, it's Harm9. Today we're going to be going over 10 things that you need to take advantage of in GTA Online that you're probably not taking full advantage of. Now these are going to be some good ways to make money, some really helpful tips and things that you should be doing to save yourself time in this game, as well as some other just generally helpful pointers. If you guys enjoyed the video, consider dropping a like and subscribing if you're new. A lot of you guys watch, not a lot of you subscribe, so consider doing that. Let's go ahead and get into the video, starting off with number 10. And for number 10, we have a little underhand throw to start things off. We got completing the weekly HSW and regular time trials. Now the time trials can be extremely frustrating, and I am well aware of this, but if you do have HSW available on your platform and you have an HSW car available to use, they will make the regular time trials a piece of cake most of the time, and the HSW time trial is almost always super easy to complete within the time frame given. Now, if you were to do the time trials every single week for an entire year, you would make $353,000 a week, which totals to $18,356,000 in a year just from doing the time trials alone, which is a great amount of money considering completing both of them takes usually less than 10 minutes, all totaled with travel time and completing both the time trials and everything like that. Obviously, if you mess up 10 times, it can take a lot longer than that, but if you nail them first try, it will take you less than 10 minutes to make 353 grand, which is probably the best amount of money you could make in 10 minutes in this entire game. So if you're not taking advantage of these, you gotta take advantage of them. They come out with the weekly update every single week. I do update videos on it, so if you're interested in that and knowing when the time trials come out, I do cover that in my what to buy and what to avoid series that I do weekly. Next up at number 9, we have fast traveling, in quotes, by changing spawn locations. Now with the addition of GTA Online Enhanced, the loading times, at least most of the time, are significantly faster than they previously were in GTA Online. Particularly if you're a solo player, you can use this to your advantage to get around much faster. Just as an example, let's say your agency safe is full and you're at your nightclub and you're in a bit of a time crunch, it's significantly faster to change your spawn location in the interaction menu and join a new invite-only session than it is to go outside, get on your Oppressor Mark II, say. You could beat this super easily by simply changing your spawn location and just switching sessions. Now the time saved actually stacks the more places that you fast travel to. So say your agency safe is full and you're at your nightclub, and then your arcade safe is also full and your chop shop safe is also full. If you just change spawn locations multiple times once you've collected each safe to the next location and keep changing sessions, this is going to get you around super quick, and it will probably save you about 4 minutes by the time you've done all of your safes, just as an example. But this is also super good for things like if you have a hangar at Fort Zancudo, for example. Instead of flying to Fort Zancudo or calling a jet or a helicopter to then fly to Fort Zancudo, if you have the accommodation at Fort Zancudo in your hangar, you can just change your spawn location to there and change invite-only sessions, and boom, next thing you know, you're there already. Now, I do understand that the point of GTA Online is to drive your hard-earned vehicles and aircraft and whatnot, but if you're in a time crunch, this is a great way to save some time, and it is something that I use a lot in GTA Online when I'm grinding and trying to make money. Next up at number 8, we have another underhand throw, and this is the Master Control Terminal, but also combined with the Terabyte. Now, I think that most people know about the Master Control Terminal by this point in GTA Online's lifespan, but if you didn't, it's super useful to resupply your businesses and check the status of them from one central location, and you can regularly put it in the arcade. Recently though, with the Agents of Sabotage DLC, they added it as a potential upgrade to the Terabyte that can be applied if you own the Terabyte and you own a garment factory. In the Terabyte, I find it particularly useful because you can spawn in your Terabyte wherever you want, and it's already a useful vehicle, so this is really good. It's also insanely good if you park your Terabyte in between multiple CEO cargo warehouses, for example. If you were sourcing CEO cargo, it's going to reduce a lot of the travel time back to the CEO office to start a new source mission. And plus, if one warehouse is on cooldown when you're sourcing, you can source to the other one nearby, and then go back to the Terabyte and vice versa. If you use this strategy, you can fill your warehouses way faster than you normally could. But the Terabyte and the Master Control Terminal, definitely a good thing to own, and the fact that you can combine the Terabyte and the Master Control Terminal now is super worth it. So I would advise you to put a Master Control Terminal in your Terabyte and use that to source supplies for your businesses, like your MC businesses, your bunker, things like that. Now, at number 7, we have annoying businesses, and you need to take advantage of these. Now, for example, as annoying as the motorcycle club businesses can be, they are still very much worth doing, even in 2025. Things have generally improved with them, as they have for most businesses in GTA Online over the years, from added single vehicle sale missions to the MC businesses, to extending the solo sale mission time by 50%, there have been some improvements. Now, don't get me wrong, the sale missions are still a complete pain in the ass if you're a solo player. However, if you do have some friends that can help you out, the sale missions for the MC businesses are not actually that annoying, and they are quite quick to complete. And you will make a lot of money by completing these sale missions and running these businesses. Then, of course, there's also the added bonus of owning them for your nightclub basement technicians to accrue goods through owning them and having them set up as well. So, as annoying as MC businesses are to not only purchase, but to own and operate, they are still very much worth doing in 2025. Particularly if you have some friends to play with, but even as a solo player, the sale missions can be completed by yourself, so they are worth doing. Next up at number 6, we got some nightclub popularity hacks here for you. Now, there's multiple ways of increasing nightclub popularity in GTA Online in 2025. The best way, by far, has been patched. As of the release of the Agents of Sabotage DLC, you used to be able to go into your nightclub in passive mode and be guaranteed to always get the Kick Out Troublemaker event, which would play a 5-second cutscene and give you $10,000 and increase your popularity by a bar and a bit. Now, you can't even launch either of the popularity missions in passive mode, and going in passive mode does not affect which one you will get. Now, this does suck, and I'm sure we all feel like we've been getting that Drive the VIP Home mission a little more than 50% of the time lately. I do have a solution to this though, and that is going to require rebooking DJs through the nightclub computer. Now, initially, this is going to cost you $100,000 for the first time you do it, and you will have to do a really annoying mission to pick them up. However, after this, the cost will drop down to only $10,000 to rebook that DJ, and every time you do it, you'll get half a bar of popularity. Now, this is a really good way to save some time if you absolutely refuse to drive the VIP home. It is certainly a waste of money. However, it can be used to avoid that godforsaken VIP mission, particularly the ones that are like 3 miles away. Now, another bonus tip for you is that if you do these from the nightclub basement, you'll skip the switching DJs cutscene, which will save you a couple seconds. So that is something that is good to know. At number 5, we got making personal aircraft. Now, you're probably wondering, how the hell do you do that? Well, you can use Pegasus vehicles and fly them to your hangar, and that will allow you to turn what would otherwise be a Pegasus vehicle into a personal aircraft that you can spawn through the interaction menu, which occasionally will spawn in a much better location than the Pegasus counterpart otherwise would. And it will also allow you to have multiple of one vehicle going at a time, and this is especially useful if you play with other people, and especially if those people are not very highly leveled or don't have a lot of money to buy certain vehicles. This is especially useful if you consider the Buzzard, for example. When you purchase it, it's initially a Pegasus vehicle, but you can also spawn it through the CEO vehicles menu, and then if you take that Buzzard to the hangar from Pegasus, you can also make it into a personal aircraft, which will allow you to technically have 3 Buzzards out at once, and this can help you to complete missions a lot faster, give your friends vehicles that they otherwise wouldn't be able to get if they are lower levels. So this can be very useful, and depending on how you do it, it can be kind of overpowered in a way. Now, at number 4, we have agency security contracts and the agency safe. And this is probably the most underrated money method in GTA Online, and it will require a bit of initial work, but it will literally pay you forever entirely passively once you complete the work. Now, within the agency, there are security contracts which can be launched from the office computer, and they will have a range of difficulties depending on which contract you want to do. The easiest are gang termination, rescue mission, and recover valuables, and the payouts for these will range from $31,000 to $70,000 for each one that you complete. Now, the catch is that you will have to complete 201 of these to max out the agency's safe income. However, the safe income scales with the amount of contracts that you've completed. So for example, if you have 101 contracts completed, you'll get $10,000 every in-game day in GTA Online that you spend in the actual game. Now, that's every 48 minutes, so you can potentially get 10 grand every 48 minutes of real life time, or up to $20,000 every 48 minutes, and it will be deposited into your safe, which can hold up to $250,000. So it's not like you have to go and check this all the time. You go once in a while and pick up a couple $100,000, which is pretty cool. Now, this is the part where people will likely say that this isn't worth it and it takes too long and blah 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 blah. However, they're wrong. By the time you've completed all 201 contracts, you'll have been paid out $6,231,000, and that's if you do the cheapest contract every single time. Contracts that are only worth $31,000 every single time. Now, the real number you'll have been paid by the time you actually get to 201 contracts completed will be around $10 million, but this isn't factoring in the safe income that you will have made along the way though, which could have easily made you between $2 and $4 million in that same time frame, depending on how long it takes you to complete all those contracts. And then once you're done the contracts, you will get paid this money literally forever. So in my opinion, this is very much worth doing. As a person who's maxed out their agency security contracts on console and on PC on 2 different characters, I can 100% confidently say this is a worthy time investment. Something that you will want to own before doing these, or strive to get before completing them, is an armed helicopter. The Buzzard is honestly a great option. The FH-1 Hunter's better, and the Akula is even better than that. But all of those definitely help to make these a lot easier, particularly if you focus on doing gang termination and the rescue mission security contracts. But these are 100% worth it, so please take advantage of this. It is super, super good, and it's free money forever. Next up at number 3, we've got something that I didn't even know about for the longest time, and that is private session sale missions. Now, a lot of people don't know about this, but if you sell in a crew or friend session, you can still get the high demand bonus that you would typically only get in public sessions, but for some reason, nobody seems to know about this. Now, in an invite-only session, you will not get the high demand bonus. Now, this means that if you can fill up a lobby with people that you trust, you can potentially get a 50% bonus on all of your business sale missions. We've been doing this on PC lately, and I have never made money so fast in GTA Online. It's actually unreal. Now, if you're interested in joining this, I am in the process of setting up a Discord server right now where we will be organizing this sort of stuff for the PC platform, but where we will also be looking to expand to doing it on console as well in the future. However, that server is not completed yet, but in the meantime, you can join my good friend Twingo's server, which will be linked in the description of this video, and we do these sales on PC typically every couple of weeks, so if you want to get involved, this is a good way to do it. Next up at number 2, we got the DH7 Iron Mule, and this thing is a total game changer, particularly for solo players, but even for people that play with friends, the Iron Mule can be a massive help for a lot of sale missions and sourcing missions for certain businesses. Now, I have a full guide on my channel of what it can do, what it can pick up, what it can help with, and I will link that video in the description of this video as well. It's particularly amazing for vehicle cargo sourcing, but it's also really good to have on multiple bunker sale missions. Ammunition deliveries can also be completed with it, and many, many more things than that. Definitely check out my in-depth guide if you are interested in knowing more about the Iron Mule. Again, link in the description down below. For some honorable mentions, first of all, we have the Stash House. And the Stash House is available every real life day in GTA Online and resets at about 11 p.m. Pacific Standard Time every single day. And for completing this super simple mission, you'll get a full resupply for one of your businesses, which would typically cost you $75,000 for most businesses, unless it does supply your acid lab, in which case it would normally cost you $60,000 for a full resupply. But obviously, if you do this every single day for an entire week, you can not only save yourself up to $525,000 on supplies, but that amount of money in supplies would also make a significant amount of product in your businesses, which could potentially be worth about $2 million, which is kind of insane to think about. So if you haven't been doing the Stash House, you absolutely need to do it. It's super simple and easy to do every single day. I would highly recommend it. I don't know why you're not doing it if you aren't. And for another honorable mention, we have the Acid Lab. Now, the reason that I have this as an honorable mention is due to the fact that it's such a lengthy and tedious process to get it set up, and I definitely think that there's a good contingent of people who refuse to do the missions to get this thing because they're simply not very much fun, and they're annoying, and they take a really long time to do. To top things off, with the Acid Lab, after doing all the tedious missions to get it in the first place, you have to then go and do 10 more Dax Fooligan missions to unlock the ability to purchase the equipment upgrade for the business, and I totally get why people aren't taking advantage of this pretty great business for all of those reasons. However, I do truly believe that all the suffering that you have to go through will pay itself back to you in no time once you actually have the Acid Lab. Plus, For doing the missions, you'll get paid enough money to nearly cover the entire cost of the Acid Lab business setup itself. And if you do all of the DAX missions, you will get a free Ocelot Virtue. So there's really not a point in skipping over these other than to just save time, but this business can make you a lot of money and you can get a really good car out of doing it. So if you've been putting off getting the Acid Lab, take it from a guy who's had to do all of those missions twice. It is worth it. Now, the number one thing that I don't see people taking advantage of in GTA Online are the CEO warehouse workers. Now, you can save your criticism for after I'm done this paragraph, but these guys and girls that you will find in your warehouses are simply the most underrated and underutilized aspect of any business in this entire game. You'll find one in each of your warehouses you own, and you can pay them $7,500 and they will bring back 1 to 3 crates with a 1% chance to also source a special item, which are all worth more than $100,000 a piece, and you can own up to 5 warehouses. So you actually have a 5% chance when you source with all of your warehouses and all of your workers. Now, you can do this every 48 minutes, and it also works and counts for time while you're offline. So if you have spare time, you can set a timer for every 48 minutes to tell you to get back online and into the game to source again. And these guys will source 1.7 crates on average, meaning that if you do this once per day, it'll take 65 days to fill 5 large warehouses. But if you do this twice a day, it'll take 32 days. And if you can manage to do it 4 times a day, it'll only take 16 days. And you'll be able to sell all 5 of those warehouses for $11,100,000. And this is not counting getting any sort of high demand bonus either. This is just a purely safe sale mission that can be completed as a solo player extremely easily. There's no way that you can fail a CEO cargo sale mission unless you accidentally blow up or crash your plane or sink your boat or whatever. Other than that, you literally cannot fail these missions because of time. You get way too much time to actually do these. I'm telling you that I have filled my warehouses so many times using these warehouse workers completely passively, and I've sold them many a time, and I've made almost $100 million using these CEO cargo warehouses since these guys were released in the summer of 2022, and that's with me not really like super grinding them either. So I would highly recommend using the warehouse workers in your CEO cargo warehouses. You absolutely cannot go wrong with this. It does not cost you anything additionally. It's a really good way to make money. You guys need to take advantage of it. So there you have it, guys. Those are 10 things that you need to take advantage of in GTA Online that you might have not been taking advantage of before. So if this video helped you out, I really hope it did. Leave a like if you enjoyed or if you learned something, dislike if you didn't, of course, and consider subscribing to my channel if you guys are new or if you like this style of content. Let me know some other top 10 style videos you want to see in the comment section down below. Comment a 1 if you made it to the end of the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Till then, take care. Peace.